Today is the day, my friends, that we, as in me, as in I, am going to be reorganizing my bookshelves because honestly, they need it. They need it, okay? I'm not gonna do the full-blown, let's pull everything off the shelves. I have a lot of books and I have a small office. So if I were to pull everything off the shelf, there would be no organizing. There would be just overstimulating. You know what I mean? Okay, also, I don't think I'm going to be too crazy with this reorganization because I do like the fact that I have all of my thrillers over here on this side, the more pastel-y books all over here, i.e. like romance, women's fiction, that whatever. But within those sections, series are out of place, authors are kind of mixed up. There's no vibe, you know what I mean? I don't know what I mean. We're just gonna go through it today. We're gonna go through it. That way I can do a full-blown bookshelf tour. I've been wanting to redo one. I did one, I think around this time last year. Obviously things have changed, okay? I have moved house, I have rearranged, I have bought books, unhauled books, everything in between. So it's time for an upgrade. Matter of fact, my last book haul, I had a bob. And today I have a mess. It is hella hot outside and therefore I am already sweating. And so I could not be bothered. I like straightened this bottom layer here and I was like, turn off. It's too hot. So you're just gonna have to deal with this. All right, my friends. All right. So let me give you a full-blown overview, there you go, of the book room. And then we're just kind of gonna dive on in. You don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what I'm doing. We're just gonna go for it. So on this side of the room, I have 4 large shelves and then a skinny one in the middle that I just put at a diagonal to create a corner situation. These are the IKEA Billy bookshelves and I have the extension at the top. And then we're gonna circle around the room. I have some overflow, I'll get to that in a minute. My desk, curtains, you guys. I hung up decor. And then on this side, I have 2 more big ones and a skinny one. And then just a cart. This is a box that needs to be relocated and then some whatever, let's not judge. But that's essentially what we're working with. I'm going to bring you on over here and we're gonna start with the thriller section. Gonna move this big girl out of the way. These first 2 big shelves are completely thriller, mystery, suspense type books. I just kind of mush those all together. Essentially, if you go to a bookstore, they do the same thing, so that's what I do. We have overflow. So right down here, I have some more like mystery thrillers on this shelf, and this shelf. And then this shelf has partial Dean Koontz and then Jeffrey Deaver. I know Dean Koontz leans more towards horror and Jeffrey Deaver leans more towards thriller. I would love to fit all of my mystery thriller just on these 2 shelves and not have as much overflow onto other shelves. So I was thinking, I do have a lot of books that I purchased specifically in 2020 when we were in lockdown. I was buying a lot of books at the time. I had also just discovered the thriller genre. I had no idea like who was who, what was the difference between stuff and like the different subgenres in that genre and what I would like, what I would dislike. So I was just blindly buying thrillers. So a lot of those are still on the shelves. I would love to pull off a good chunk of those and set those aside for like another read it or unhaul it because they've literally been sitting on my shelf for over 5 years now. Back at the old house, the lighting is very horrible. I'm sorry. Let me move you to where the lighting is a little better. You can see me. Hey! Okay, so back at the old house, I had my read books on one side of the room and my unread books on the other side of the room, though I disliked that a lot in the sense that I hated my series being split up. I hated my author, like having Riley Sager on one side and Riley Sager on the other, Stephen King on one side and Stephen King on the other, like that kind of thing. I hated it in that aspect, but I miss it in the sense that I want to see, like to visualize you know, like, so this is, okay, so when I'm going to look for a new book to read, I can just go to the unread section and pick one. I don't know, like I kind of miss it, but I kind of don't. So that being said, I do kind of want to focus a lot of my unread thrillers on their own shelves and my read thrillers on their other shelves. There might be some exceptions because there might be an author or two. For instance, Alice Feeney, I've read everything by her with the exception of one book. I really need to get to that book, so I'm still going to keep that book with her. Do you catch my drift? I think you're going to see it as I do it. I don't even know how to begin, but let's begin. I've already stumbled across, okay, so listen. Over here we have Meg Gardner. I have read these 3 books. I love these 3 books. I do recommend them quite often. This is the 4th book in a series. I haven't got to this one yet. And then this is just a random one by her that I haven't got to yet either. So being that I love this author and I don't want to separate, I'm going to keep these on the read side, even though technically 2 of these I haven't read, if that makes sense. I read all of those. And then with Fiona Cummins, I've read when I was 10 and I really loved it, but I have not read Into the Dark. But I don't want to separate these, and I feel like she as an author fits better with this side than the other side. I don't know if that makes sense. I've read that. But then with a J.P. Delaney, I've only read Playing Nice, and I enjoyed it, and I have not read these 2. But part of me feels like this doesn't, I don't know. Okay, and then with this author, I've only read the first book. I haven't read any of the other books. I don't remember anything about the first book, so part of me says this needs to go just back into the unread section, so that's what I'm gonna do. So it's not gonna be fully read on one side and fully read on the other side, but in my brain, it's gonna make sense. And then we have this shelf here. This is such a lovely shelf to see because out of all of these books, this one, I think I haven't read that one yet. And I haven't read One by One. Have I read the It Girl? I have to look that up. I don't remember. But I haven't read that. I've read everything else. So obviously I'm not going to split all of these up because they're by the same author that are mostly read. So this, well, we have some carpet cleaner, but we're going to take that down. Okay. Now this bottom shelf, I'm just gonna leave it how it is. I'm gonna fix it obviously, but I'm gonna leave it how it is because this is all Nordic Noir, and so it all just kind of goes together in my brain. This is perfect. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it. All of my Karen Slaughter is up at the top, and that's gonna stay like that. They're in the order that I want them in. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and fill the rest of this shelf up with some more of the red thrillers that I have that I just, you know, like you want your favorites together. I cannot be the only one who wants all of their favorite books together. So we're gonna do some Gillian Flynn because we love her. I need to find some non-book of the month hardback copies. Then we're gonna do Miss Alice Feeney. I think off camera I am going to put, maybe, I don't know, I might be lying to you, but I think I want to put some of these, I'm not even showing you what I'm doing, in publication order, just because this is the only Alice Feeney that I haven't read yet. I really need to get to it. So we have Alice Feeney, and then I'm going to put Ashley Winstead right here. Alex Michaelides. Now, I know The Silent Patient isn't my most favorite book, but I really did enjoy his other two. I kind of, not gonna lie to you, I kind of want to revisit The Silent Patient just to see, like, if my thoughts still are the same. And then I have enough room for about one more book, so let's see. Okay, it's a lot harder to find a single book than it is multiple, because typically when I like an author's work, I will go and buy more of their books. But I think I am going to put Mary Kubica's Local Woman Missing right there. That's the only book that I have by her, so that is cute. So these two top shelves I think are fully final. I'm still right now not fully organizing the rest of the shelves. I'm just kind of moving things around. We'll get back to this in a minute, but I do have some shelves up here that I still need to pull some books off of. So with the J.D. Barker down here, though I have read 4 of his books, there's more unread than read. So I'm going to keep him on the unread side. I just picked up this. This is his newest one, something I keep upstairs. Sounds like it's going to be a banger. If you've been here for a minute, you know this is like one of my all-time favorite trilogies that are in the thriller genre. Definitely recommend, especially if you love crime thrillers, because that's exactly what that is. He also has a prequel to Dracula that is written with the original author's, I think it's his grandson. I could be completely wrong. And then we have these. I have read A Caller's Game. That is like a very fast action thriller, similar to books like S.A. Cosby and whatnot, you know, like where it's like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and then it's done, if you're into those kind of thrillers. But we have another J.D. Barker. J.D. Barker also writes a lot with James Patterson. So though on the spines these say James Patterson, but he collabed with J.D. Barker. So that is why those are there. My husband is currently reading that, J.D. Barker. And then I have some James Patterson here. Out of these James Patterson books, I've only read one, which is Along Came a Spider. So I'm going to continue to keep him on the technically the unread side. Me trying to confuse you and myself, this is what we're doing. Now I do have one more James Patterson book, but I keep it on the other side because it's technically like a romance kind of book. That is, he like co-wrote it with another author, and it is like about a woman who fell in love with her imaginary friend. So I keep that on the other side, but I do have another James Patterson. Okay, I do have a little bit of space there. I don't know what I'm going to put there just yet. These 2 books were there. I need to look into what these books are. So we have The Bone Tree and Cemetery Road by this author. These might go on the chopping block. Actually, let me look into them right now. Wow, has a 4.13 rating with a little over 22,000 ratings. So it looks like it's like a southern crime book. This has really good ratings. I don't know, I might keep this one. Let's look up the other one. So this one, it is a signed first edition. However, it's part of a series. This is book number 5 in a series. The first one being The Quiet Game, Turning Angel, The Devil's Punch Bowl, The Death Factory, Nature's Burning, and then The Bone Tree. Wow, this has a 4.24 rating with 25,000 ratings. I don't know if I want to fully commit. Maybe I'll read this one first, and depending on if I like this one or not, I'll decide if I want to continue on with this author. But I don't want to like unhaul this one just yet, because what if I love this? Because I am a sucker for some crime thrillers, and that's what sounds like what this exactly is, like a southern crime. So I'm going to keep those, and I'm going to put them here. Short story long. I do need to look into, no, I was going to say I need to look into buying the other books. No, we're going to read Cemetery Road first, and then we'll determine if we're going to do that. Okay, we have some Harlan Coben, not these. This is, I've read all of those. We have Harlan Coben. With Harlan Coben, I've only read 2 out of all of these books. So he, too, is going to stay on this side. But the 2 books that I read by him, I really enjoyed. So I do think he's going to be an author for me. My husband has read most of these. So obviously I wasn't going to be getting rid of them. But they are going to stay on this side of the shelves However, I am gonna move them up. I do need to pick up, because my husband keeps asking me if I picked up the first, or no, I'm sorry, his newest book yet, and I have not. So that's just another reason for me to buy some more books, you know? Now don't get it twisted, okay? This looks like a lot of books. He has even more than this. He has a very extensive backlist. These are just the ones that I currently have. And then I showed you this shelf here, which was the Nordic Noir shelf down here at the bottom. I'm gonna just transfer these to this side. I think I've read one out of all of these books, so obviously they're gonna be moved to this side. These I've read for the most part. I'm gonna leave this empty spot. One, because I'm missing the lost symbol, which goes here, and then Dan Brown is also coming out with a new book that goes here, and so eventually this will be filled up. But for now, we're just this is done. This bottom shelf here, I'm gonna put a lot of my older thrillers. We're gonna start with Jeffrey Deaver. He has a pretty long series called the Lincoln Rhyme series. I've read the first book, which is Bone Collector. I really need to get to the rest of the series, or at least a few more books to see if I even want to keep this series on my shelves. We'll start with his. I don't even have the second book in the series. How do I have all of these books by him and not the second book? I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I do have it. So I have books 1 through 9 in that series. And then I have this one, which is, it's called XO. It's part of a different series, but it's like a crossover, I believe. Then I also have this book, which is a different series. However, this is the, what is his name? Coulter Shaw? Is that his name? So if you watch, oh my gosh, we've been watching it. There's like 2 seasons out already. Searcher, Seeker, Tracker, the show Tracker. Anyway, so we have those. Most of the ones I'm going to put down here are all going to be like crime type thrillers. Most of them are probably also going to be part of series. I have the first book in the Kathy Reeks series called Deja Dead. This is what the TV show Bones is inspired by. So I haven't read this yet, obviously, so we're gonna stick it there. And then I have this book by Chelsea Cain called One Kick. I've read another book by Chelsea Cain, which is this, which is a series, a serial killer series with a female serial killer. I've read this, enjoyed it. I really need to pick up the other books in this series, but it should go on the red side, huh? But then I would put this on the red side. So I can either put one unread on the red side or one read on the unread side. I'm gonna put these over here. I have some Tess Gerritsen books. I need to look up the orders, but if you're familiar with the TV show Rizzoli and Isles, this is that, but in book form. And I've read the first 2 books in that, which I believe is The Surgeon, or have I read 3? I for sure have read The Surgeon and The Apprentice. I need to look up the order so I can put these in the right order. Okay, I am also missing a couple of these books, so I'm going to put them in order as best I can. I thrift most of these types of books. A lot of these, like the Jeffrey Deaver ones, these, Harlan Coben, things like that, they were written in like the 90s, early 2000s, so I thrift them, which is why I don't have some, and some look really ratchet, but here we go. Actually, I lied. I'm going to put these over here because I have a little bit of space there, and there's room for one more book. These all have a certain vibe. They're all like crime books, older books, series, that kind of thing. I'm going to put a book down there that's red, but it fits with the vibe. This is a very long series. I don't think I'm going to continue on in the series, but I'm holding on to this because there's supposed to be an adaptation that's coming out with some really popular people. I've read it, but I might want to reread it. I don't know. Just whatever. Okay. So this is where we're at. These shelves here, along with these shelves here, are staying how they are. But the rest, I'm going to take a second and rearrange before we then start adding these books, which are to the shelves, and also going through and picking out which ones are going on my chopping block. Okay, so I have like 3 shelves now, minus these 2 books, that I can put some of these unread books on the floor on. Whatever I can't fit onto these 3 shelves, I am going to do like a chopping block, and they're gonna have a lifespan. If I don't read them within that time, I'm gonna unhaul them. I'll probably do a whole video on that. I don't know, like maybe a read it or unhaul it, maybe something, I don't know. But that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to fit as many unread books as I can on these 3 shelves. So I have to be picky with what I'm keeping. I do have these 2, they are red. This one I should probably unhaul. I know, don't come at me, because a lot of people love this book. I just didn't. I felt like the twist, like the big twist, was super obvious. The story was so slow, and I hated the ending. I'm unhauling it. There's literally no reason for me to keep it. But I also found this one that I have read as well, and I thought it was just like a kind of book. So I'm unhauling that. So these 2 are going to go in the unhaul pile. But let's sort through the books on the floor. Let me show you the books on the floor. So I have all of these. These are partially read and partially unread. I'm keeping those. Those aren't thrillers, so don't mind that pile. But all of these. Okay, let's go through them. I'm going to start with putting these on the shelves. Okay, this is going to be the tough part. Because 1, I don't know how many books can fit on the shelves. And 2, I don't know what I'm doing. We're just going to kind of sort through them and we're gonna see. I do know for sure I want to keep this book, Cain and Abel. These 2 I'm keeping. This I'm keeping. I'm gonna keep that. Maybe keeping this. Let's see. Keeping this. This. Ah! Yep. There went that. Oh, keeping the Appeal because I really want to get into some more legal thrillers. Keeping this. Keeping both of these by Liz Moore. I'll keep this. I think I'm going to keep Hannah Morrissey's books. I'm going to keep this. Oh, we're keeping these. There's one more right here. Keeping these, Tanya French and Big Little Lies. Keep, okay. Keep Kara Hunter, and I'm gonna keep all of my Lisa Gardner books. So far, this is our keep, and this is what we're still gonna go through. Let's go ahead and shelve these and then see where we're at on space. These are also gonna be in like no particular order. We're just gonna shelve them. So that's the space that we're left with. We'll keep Kimberly McCrate. She has another one over there. I'll keep Count My Lies. Welcome to Murder Week. We'll keep the Shards. Where are you at? There you are. We'll keep the Shards. Miracle Creek. The Riding Retreat. So we'll keep mine by J.L. Butler. We'll keep the 2 Paula Hawkins books. And then this David Ellis book. Let's shelf these and then see where we're at. And so we're left with this gap, which can hold probably like 6 more books. All right, and our thriller section is filled. As I'm showing you this, I realize I have this book here. Oh, did you hear that? All the books fell behind me. Why didn't I put it in a slot? I don't know, but whatever. We're just going to keep it there for now. And then here are the thrillers that are going to be on some sort of chop and block, ultimatum, something or another. Now, that's not to say that if I read the book and I love it, I can't keep it. I can, even if it doesn't fit. I just needed some sort of way to like figure out which thrillers I really need to get to or I need to unhaul, if that makes any sense. And so being that none of these were like, oh yes, I must keep this, I feel like that's a huge sign that their time is up. Their welcome mat is run down. I don't know. You know? I don't know. My thriller section could very well overflow eventually and maybe take back up this skinny shelf again. I just have so many unread thrillers that have been unread for so long that it's time to do something. So stay tuned for some sort of challenge with those books. I will figure it out, okay? Okay, we're gonna move on. And I'm gonna tell you this, it's not gonna take me as long, I don't think, with the other sections, because I don't feel like I need to like really cull it down at all, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna go take lunch and then we'll come back and we'll get started on the rest, because your girl is hungry. Okay, for a second, I was like, what am I gonna do with all of these thrillers that are on this so-called chopping block if I'm not gonna keep them on my shelf? I have this. That one day it would be really cool for my entire TBR to fit on this, but that's not gonna happen anytime soon. So what if I put them on this cart? Let's do that. So you know, Becca and her books does like these books expire in a year or something. Maybe I'll do something like that, but I feel like I don't want these to sit for a year. Like they've already been sitting for so long. A lot of these, like this for example, never heard of it. I just bought it on a whim because I was getting into thrillers. Same with this one, you know what I mean? So maybe I'll come up with something else. A lot of these are from Book of the Month that I would not have ever picked up had I didn't have like extra credits, you know what I'm saying? Some of these I was sent in the mail from publishers, which thank you so much, but those are unsolicited for the most part. I have this, I've read this book. This is an entire series. I think I'm missing like 2 or 3 of them. I got all of these from Book Outlet, can you tell? I think I read this one in 2020, the first one, and I've not had any urge to pick up any other ones. I definitely need to figure that one out as well. The little black dots. I know other places besides Book Outlet does the black dots, but for the most part, that's the only place that I typically shop that does the little black marks on the bottom, and that's where 99% of all of these books came from. Also, if you're asking, Beth, what happened to that rotating bookshelf that you had for like a TBR shelf? It unfortunately did not make it during the move, so it kind of broke in half on the U-Haul. Let's not talk about it, okay? Part of me was like, just go ahead and start, you know, a read it or unhaul it and do multiple episodes to get these out of the way, but I promised the people some bookshelf ultimatum videos. So that's actually the next vlog that I will be working on. Okay, and there you have it, my friends. My TBR thriller, my thriller. I don't know, you get it. There we have this, so I can push those out of the way. So now we're gonna move to these bookshelves. I know for sure that I want to put my Stephen King, like it's here, I wanna move it here and then put horror at the bottom. So what you can't see is Dean Koontz on the bottom shelf. That will stay there because Dean Koontz is horror. But I have these, hang on. I have these 2 shelves that are also horror, and I'll put these here. And then here and up will be Stephen King. Eventually, when I finish collecting all of my Stephen King books, I'll have to like alter it a little bit to fit, but as of right now, they'll fit like that. I just don't know what I want to do. This is hard to like do. I don't know what I want to do in this skinny shelf. That's the only thing. We'll think about that later. Let's go ahead and get to swapping. I also kind of want to put my Stephen King in publication order, not fully, because I don't want to split up like the Mr. Mercedes trilogy. I think I have like 2 or 3 Dark Tower books that I want to keep together. Like some I want to keep together, but for the most part, I think I'm gonna try to finagle it to where his older work's at the top and then it goes into his newer work. I also turned on the overhead light because it's not nighttime yet, it's like 3 o'clock. But it is like, this is my view. Literally my neighbor's house, okay? So hardly any sunshine gets through this way, plus we're not facing the sun through this way, so it's getting pretty dark in here. So, lighting change. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of these. I have them in hardback here, right? You can see, but I recently bought these in paperback because I was going to do a series where I read and annotate each book. I did the first book, I read it, I annotated it. There's a whole vlog on my channel, I think, unless I privated it. I might have privated it, I don't remember. But I then realized that these are not the type of books that I like to annotate. These are like a fun time, but they're not like favorite books for me. So why do I want annotated copies? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna unhaul these. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this one because it is annotated, but these for sure I can find somebody, a friend. I feel like if anybody in your real life is a reader, 9 out of 10 times they're reading this kind of stuff. So I can find somebody that would want these for sure. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but I am unhauling this. I just found 2 more thrillers that were shoved up over here because I did a TikTok with these and then I just never put them back where they went. So now I have to find a spot to put these over there. Let me do a double check. Great. So I put the Peter Swanson with Peter Swanson. I pulled this out to make room for that. I'm just gonna stick these actually right here. And one day I'll read a thriller that's on my shelves and I'll unhaul it and make the room or something. But for right now, that's what we're gonna, we're moving past the thriller section. Okay, I've changed my mind. After I pulled all these books down, I feel like I'm about to pass out from bending over because I can't catch my breath. That's how like out of shape I am. I think I'm gonna keep my Stephen King over here and keep fantasy over here. I'm just gonna reorganize it because I was thinking like I really like this Tolkien shelf, and then I can make, even though it like doesn't kind of make sense with the world there because, you know, but the colors, that's why because this matches that like aesthetic wise. Let's not talk about that. Okay, but then I can put like my J. Kristoff Empire of the Vampire type books on this little cubicle here because I don't know what I would do with this. So I feel like it makes more sense to keep fantasy here because it'd be weird if I had fantasy, then horror, then back to fantasy. Even though Stephen King has fantasy himself. We're just gonna have to roll with the punches, you know? We're just gonna have to, you're just gonna have to brace yourselves. The fuck? Essentially what I'm doing, whoa. Essentially what I'm doing is overthinking things and overcomplicating things. It is not that serious, Beth. So I'm done with my Stephen King section. Everything is in publication order with the exception of the Mr. Mercedes trilogy. I put them where End of Watch goes. So these 2 are not in order, but I didn't want to like ruin the face. You know what I mean? So that's that. But that's why if you see like, oh, why is this random short book here? Because that's how it was published. I went ahead and put my Dark Tower books in their slots too. And then one day, if I ever have the entire set, I will then have the set by itself. But I only have 3 books from the Dark Tower series. I have 4.5, 5, and 6. So that's that. So it goes up to his most recent published book. And then we have his On Writing book. I did not put this one in publication order because I felt like it's cute next to his head. I get questions a lot on where I got this from, Etsy. Unfortunately, the shop where I bought it from is no longer on Etsy, but maybe somebody else has one out there, I don't know. And then on this side, I just have randoms. So we have like these 2 that are short stories. They were, you know, bound by themselves. I don't know. A 50 anniversary edition of Carrie, and then these like Barnes & Noble leather bound. So these are just like extras, but we're keeping it at that for now. We're gonna go down. We're gonna go down. need to find these in hardback. These are some mass market paperbacks, and it's so annoying that I have the first two in paperback and the second two in hardback. It just looks silly. But should I put it here? We're just gonna stick it here. No, we're not. Yes, we are. No, we're not. Scoop everything down. Because they go technically here. Like this. See how silly that looks? It's all one series. It looks so silly, but whatever. We're just gonna keep it like that. And then I'll just fill in around it. And hopefully it doesn't look as bad as I feel like it looks. And there we go. That's okay. That looks fine. And we'll just stick these down here. And horror section's done. So this bottom shelf is going to be for like my witchy / vampire-y books. If I have another book somewhere else that is witchy or vampire-y, either one, I don't know that it has those things in it, or two, I feel like it fit better in a different genre, if that makes sense. So, and then I don't even know if, like, are all of these full-blown witchy books? I don't even know, girl. I don't even know. But it's a vibe, and that's what we're going for. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that is vampire-y there. And some of this I do know, like, this isn't your typical, like, typical witch book, but it's still. And then some of these I do know that they are YA and stuff. I feel like this is YA. I probably need to read it and see if I really truly want it. When I like witchy vibes, I want it to give me Charmed vibes or darker. I don't really like the fluffy witchy stuff. I hear really great things about this one as well, which is The Witching Hour. I hear that it is on the darker side, which is what I aim for. Actually, I feel like this just will be down here, and then I'll go next to A Discovery of Witches. This series, which there's now a new one out, and I should get it. I say that, I haven't even read any of these, so should I really get it? I don't know. This, Slewfoot, this, I need to look up the order for this. I also have this series, which is YA as well. I read Heartless Hunter and I enjoyed it. I do need to get to Rebel Witch, but they're witchy, so they're down here. Spells for Forgetting. This is witchy, right? Because it's literally spells for forgetting. And then A Dowry of Blood, which is like vampire-y. Put that there. So this is point 1, Magic Lessons. And then we have a point 2, which is The Rules of Magic. And then we have Practical Magic, which is right here. And then, you know, they're making a remake, or they're making a Practical Magic #2, the movie. I wonder if it's going to be, like, inspired by the second book in the series, which is The Book of Magic. There, and have room for a book because I am unhauling. This book, Cackle, I recently read it. Dumbest shit I've read in a long time. I'm unhauling that. So we're gonna put Spells for Forgetting right here to fill that slot up. I know it's like, I don't mind the different heights. Like, that doesn't bother me. So, if it bothers you, I'm sorry. But, there we go. Now the fun part. The fantasy. Calling it fun is a stretch, because I feel like with fantasy, you have so many different types of fantasy. Magical realism type fantasy. You have your epic fantasy, you have your romantasy, you have this author wrote a fantasy but also wrote a literary fiction, but you don't want to split the author up, so you're going to just categorize it over here with the fantasy. If you're going to come over here and you're going to look at my fantasy section, take it with a grain of salt. It's fantasy, but it's more so just vibes. That's just what we're going to throw. This whole video is just vibes. Because, or is it vibes? I don't know. It's just... This is in my brain, it makes sense, kind of. Hell, girl, I don't even know where we're gonna start. So up here on the skinny shelf, we are going to keep these top 2 shelves how they are, because they are all sci-fi type books. If you see another book that leans towards sci-fi and it's not with my sci-fi. It's probably because I didn't know, or I felt like it also leaned toward fantasy. I don't know. I don't know genres. I'm just a girl. Then we have my Tolkien shelf. I'm just gonna keep it like that. I would really love some beautiful additions, but until then, there's that. Then we have this shelf. I think this shelf, look, I could literally zoom in. I think this shelf it's, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think all of these lean towards YA. I could be wrong. This is probably not. It kind of matches this vibe better, but this goes along with The Last Unicorn, or it's the same author that wrote The Last Unicorn. I've never read it. I've just heard really good things about it. So it probably doesn't really vibe right there, but we're just gonna leave it right there. Actually, no, I'm gonna move all of these down somewhere because I'm gonna put my, what is it called? The Empire of the Vampire books here. That's what we're gonna do. Do I want them sideways or up and down? Sideways, up and down. How do I want them? Let's look at it this way. I did get the arc of the second book. I did get an email about the arc of the third book. I haven't got it yet, so I don't know if I'm actually gonna get it. It would be really cool if I could get it. But once the third book comes out and I get the regular editions along with the Barnes & Noble edition, that's why I have two, and then I will have 2 of the newest one, and hopefully that'll fill the shelf up and it'll look good. You should see my tripod right now. It's literally breaking its neck for you to see these angles. You're welcome. I've read this book, okay? And I didn't really like it, but it's so beautiful. Is that a stupid reason to hang on to a book? I like that. I don't think I like it. Let's reevaluate. I see people do that all the time, but I don't think I like that either. Just looks so random. I don't think I like that either. It just doesn't flow how I want it to flow. Okay, so this is just an extra copy of this. I ordered this first, and I just didn't really like how, I don't know. So then I reordered it in paperback, but I don't want to get rid of this because I haven't read it yet. Spoiler alert. But what if it turns out to be like my all-time favorite book, and I just need that copy too? Don't ask, okay? We're gonna hide it back there and scoot these over. I like how this looks. I like it's like, you know, with the pops of red and pops of blue and pops of yellow, and I like that. We're gonna move this and move these over. I love the fronts of these, but I am not one to display a ton of books facing the front. So we'll do it like this. Now this is also I had this one actually first, and then somebody told me that they released these, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but I prefer hardcover, so I ordered that. So this is also a double. So I think I'm gonna hide it also back here with the other one, and nobody will know except you and me. So then I like that. Then what about June? Not bad. And then this Robert Jordan book. This Robert Jordan book just looks so, like it fits better up here. You know what I mean? Like it flows better with these versus these. I will eventually have more, and it'll eventually no longer be by itself. We're just gonna have to be okay with it right there. Then I have the Will of the Many. Okay, no, not too bad. But this, just big old white book, just doesn't flow very well. But author with author, you know. Then I also have Malice, since we're diving into the white books, by John Gwynne. And then Sword of Kaigan. And then Blood over Bright Haven. There's a little bit of gap for something. And I could just put Assassin's Apprentice, but it's just doesn't flow well. So there's that. I think that's just gonna be it. Okay. Then down on this shelf, bloop, all I have is those two books. My shadow. It's becoming nighttime, so I'm sorry about all the shadows. This empty slot is right behind my head when I film. So it's gonna look funny just having an empty shelf back there. Now the only books left that I have to shelf are the Fourth Wing series, and then these random romantic-y type books that I think I'm gonna put here. But where I'm gonna put the Fourth Wing? Oh, I enjoyed Fourth Wing. It was very nostalgia, loved the dragons, whatever. Second book was okay, third book I don't like. So I'm not too excited about that series anymore, not gonna lie. For the sake of filling up my shelf, I mean, I have to put it somewhere, obviously. Okay, what I did was I moved this second shelf up to the empty shelf because this shelf shows behind my chair. This is hidden by my chair. Not that I want these books to hide, but I don't mind having an empty shelf behind my chair, if that makes sense. So put these here for now, and then we have space to grow. These books I'm going to put on this little bottom cubby. So this one I bought because I think I'm going to enjoy it. This one I bought because everybody else was talking about it, and then after I bought it, I started hearing not so great reviews, so I'm not excited about that. Most of these, let's see, this one, this one, this one, all of these were sent to me. They sound good, but at the same time, like, this isn't really the types of books that I'm drawn to, so we'll see. I'm gonna put them actually right here, and I'd rather have an empty shelf down here than have, I'm gonna put all of these right here. All right, this side of the bookshelves is done, and actually I really like it. I think it looks better than what it did, though it kind of looks the same, but in my brain this definitely looks a lot better. So now I need to move my chair over here and do this side. This side's not going to take us as long. I'm not going to move as much. So my main issue with this side is when I sit, excuse the mess, obviously I'm in the middle of reorganizing, but when I sit right here in my desk chair, this is like the background of what you see, and honestly, it's not that cute. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't want Twilight right behind me in the video. I want to switch mainly this part up to something else. Actually, I ordered this. I thought I was ordering a sticker for someone for their birthday. Like, I bought a few Kindle stickers. It came in like a window cling, and it says High Lords and wing leaders. I am not putting this on my car. But what do I do with it? Like, hello? My YA middle grade section used to be three shelves, but now it's just this, and that is it. Now, I have to read these to still see if I want to keep them, but these I'm keeping for sure. These all of this I am keeping and holding on for my children when they get older. But these down here are still up for debate. I also just took these books off. I don't know why. I've only read one. I've read, which one? The House in the Cerulean Sea. And I haven't read these three. I don't know why I put these in YA. I'm thinking that they're YA, but I don't think they are. So I'm going to move these to a different area of the book room. And then also, I just did some Googling. I've never seen The Wizard of Oz. Is this what The Wizard of Oz was inspired by? I don't even know. 100%. I don't even know. These were sent to me, and I just assumed they were YA. I did some Googling, and they're not. So I'm moving these as well. I don't even know if I'll ever read these. Should I read these? Are these good? I hear so many. Well, is the Wicked movie is not inspired by these, right? These are different? Shit, I don't even know. I don't know. I haven't even seen the Wicked movie. I've never seen The Wizard of Oz. I don't know what Oz is about. I am just a clueless little girl. So I scooted my YA and stuff down. Now, this shelf, I need something for this shelf. I'm thinking because true crime is right above it, nonfiction would work right here. Like, I have memoirs and stuff. Like, we'll do this here. We'll say everything. I don't even know if this is a memoir. I don't know what this is. A Stanley Tucci one. Big Magic. These are just nonfiction. We're just going to put my nonfiction books here on this shelf. That rolled up thing that you saw back there, that is a diamond art painting that I don't have a place for, and we spent like $75 on it, so I don't want to just toss it out now that we're done. So that's where that's at. So I know what I could put right there as like a decor piece. But I have some more like nonfiction kind of stuff. Atomic Habits, Fasting Like a Girl. I have these random books as well, which is like Matthew Gray Gubler's little children's book. And then this was a joke gift that my husband got me for Christmas. And then this is also a Christmas type book. I think I'm going to stick those on the bottom right there. What is this back here? Oh, so this is a card that an author sent me and signed it, and I kept it. This is the birthday card that I bought to go with those stickers that I need to find before her birthday. But it says, I couldn't get you Zaddy Zayden, so I got you this card instead. Cute. And that's why I ordered this, because I thought it was a sticker to go in, you know what I mean? Because it's like wing leaders. I digress. That's whatever. So then, of course, this shelf is going to just be for my Twilight series because they're YA and YA's right here, so it just kind of whatever. I do have my Harry Potter series at the very top. They're just going to stay there anyway, so I'm not going to worry. Look how I've had these since they came out. They is dusty and crusty. Okay, here's my Jessa Hastings section. I like it like that. I like it like that. She working that back. Don't know. Whatever. I have this though. It's a second. So this was the original version before she got picked up by a publisher. And then by the time I wanted to go get a second book, they were already sold out. And I didn't want the ugly American editions. So I ordered these from the UK. So I have 2 copies of Magnolia Parks because this one didn't match because it sold tiny and shorts. You know what? I could just set it right here and it just be like an extra little thingy thing. Or actually, you know what? Look, you can't even see what I'm doing. I might just put it right here behind this so I know it's there, but you can't really see it and it'll be fine. It'll be fine like that. So I don't really want to move my romance section too much because I feel like it's fine. I do though have this. This is Problematic Summer Romance. I need to add in to my Allie Hazelwood section. I don't like this. I thought it was super cute in the store, and then when I get it home, I'm like, why does this look like man hands? It would be cute right there, but you can't even see it. So I need to move some stuff around. I did buy the hardback because, again, I like hardback books. So, let's see. What do we want to move? We're gonna move this. I've read this, and it's not, like, my favorite. So, I need to... Okay, hang on. Scoot down and put you here. Cute. I need to, like, finish getting her other stuff. But that looks okay. That looks okay. I like the shelf. Let me take you off the tripod. That looks good. I like that shelf. I feel like I need something here, though. I'm leaning heavily towards moving my Emily Henry here. I did get Beartown by Frederick Bachman, so I do need to wiggle it up there next to Anxious People. I also have Tuesdays with Maury that I need to figure out where I'm going to put, and then just the overflowage of these books. Oh my goodness. I still have the Agatha Christie books to figure out a place for since I put those big hands there. Oh man. Okay, we're gonna need to reassess. Okay, these are gonna have to move. I need the new Taylor Jenkins Reid book as well. I have, like, you think I keep buying a lot of books, but I still got so many books to catch up on because they put them out a lot quicker than I can keep up. And trust me, I try to keep up. Okay, so I have this little empty space here now. A lot of these books, I question why I even have them. Some of these romances, I don't even know. I don't even know what genre some of these are in. I just have them. And to me, that don't make no sense. But here we are. We're just having books, you know? Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. There we go. Down here is my classics. I'm not really going to move those either. I don't know. They just look like a mumble jumble. They just look like they don't even fit. You guys, we're done. And it looks so good. I put this cart here for now. And then this is what this side looks like. It could be better, but I think it works. I did wind up putting these books down here just to have a place. I googled. They seem like they fit in the fantasy category. So this is my unhaul pile. So, you know, stay tuned. I'll be filming an unhaul video very, very soon. I started filming this around 11 o'clock this morning. It is, I don't know if you can see that. Hello? It is 6:17. 6:17. I did take a lunch break. And we just changed out our third battery. So, needless to say, my legs hurt, my back hurts, I'm parched, I'm just exhausted. This was exhausting. It felt like I hardly did anything. I couldn't even imagine taking all of the books off the shelves and doing it that way. I feel like I would have been even more exhausted. So, but all in all, as I look around, I am very satisfied with how it came out. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I now have some thinking to do to figure out some sort of challenge or something to do with all these thriller books, because if you think about it, I don't know, tell me what you think, because I don't know what I'm thinking. What I do know is I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you stick around so that you could see the next one. Bye. So weird.